Welcome to another episode of All Fired Up. We're here with
Bob Farster
and Mark Stevens. How you doing, Mark?
Thanks, Chuck.
Now, Mark Stevens is an instructor in Japanese, or black belt in Japanese martial arts, and you're my instructor in my Tai Chi class.
Yes, I am.
Thank you for coming in, sir.
Thank you for having me.
I
Always glad to
appreciate
be
it.
here.
And the reason why we're doing this show, I know you have a lot of questions because you were asking them, is I just want, I've trained martial arts for 42 years. So I like people they really don't understand the difference between a hard style and a soft style and the techniques pertain to each different art. Mm-hmm. And I know you didn't know really, you kind of know because you took martial arts, but you don't know exactly what the
Not on
difference
this special, what exactly is Tai Chi?
Tai Chi is a soft style martial art. You'll see some of the either commercials or you see old people in China that are moving very slowly. It's primarily for health, but realistically it's the highest form of martial arts, okay? Now, I don't know what you believe in that. Do you believe that?
I've always said that whatever style you can do well is the best style for you.
Right. And my experience is because I got black belts in other arts and seeing top masters in Tai Chi, okay, that are fighting hard style martial artists, they don't know how to deal with a Tai Chi guy. Mm-hmm. That if they're training in Tai Chi, not for the health aspects, but for the martial art aspects, okay?
For the fighting.
For the fighting.
Yeah.
Because I learned it for the fighting. Even though it's still the same concept as the health, but I was learning the martial art aspects of it. So it took years and years and years to actually realize the power of Tai Chi, as opposed to when you're doing like the style you did where you start with a white belt and then you get the yellow and orange, green, blue, blah, 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 all the way up to black belt. You see your progression. Correct. With the color of a belt and different techniques for the most part. But with Tai Chi, and you can verify that, you don't really know for years, because you've trained with me for what, 5-6 years now?
7
At
years
least?
now.
7 years.
7 years.
So probably took you 3 years to even kind of feel it.
Took me over a year just to break the old hard style habits and just start doing it softly.
Exactly. And that's the hardest thing, is to break that, especially a guy like yourself that got a high belt in a hard martial art, to all of a sudden go to a soft. I started with a soft style martial art, went into hard, continuing doing the soft, so I always did both.
So that was like Karate Kid when they're doing it real slow?
Wipe on, wipe off, brother.
Okay, man. All right.
Yeah. Well, we don't do that, do we?
No, we don't do that.
We kind of do stuff like that.
Some stuff, the movements are similar.
So that's the difference between a soft style and a hard style. Is the hard is fighting, where the soft is more the health side?
The soft is well, I'll show you some examples a little later, but the soft style is, and you can just butt in and whatever you want, Mark, is you're learning, and what I call it, say to my class, is you're reversing the aging process.
Okay. You better get that on me right away.
Yeah. Well, you better start taking my class, brother, because you need some reversal.
I'm going fast.
But anyway, the reversal part comes in because as you get older, you start breathing higher up, and then you lose your breath. You're not breathing properly.
I do that now when I'm walking up a steps.
That's what I'm saying. So by doing Tai Chi, you're doing the movements very, very, very slowly. And the best analogy I have, which he's heard a million times, is if you go to the health club and you can just, for the sake of math, can bench 100 pounds 10 times. Okay? Now if I say take 40 pounds and move it like this, very slow, and then move it down very, very slow, chances are you won't be able to do 10 times because your muscles are not programmed for that.
Exactly, yeah.
They're programmed for this.
Exactly, and you're using, now you're going slow, that changes everything.
Right.
I see that.
So, the techniques of Tai Chi being the form itself, and then what we did last night at class, the pushing hands and rolling arms, which again I can show in a little later, it shows, and you get the sense of the other person, almost like if you see what's his name, Steven Seagal, Aikido. Obviously it's not Tai Chi, but Aikido has the same premise where you're sitting there waiting for a movement of your attacker.
Right.
And then you use his force against him in a soft way, because Aikido is considered a soft style martial art. Whereas karate, you're doing more of hitting yang with yang, hard with hard, boom, boom, boom,
Then
boom.
what's the difference in Taekwondo?
It's a hard style martial art.
Okay.
That's Korean karate.
Okay.
So
now, you mentioned the breathing, and you mention it a lot in class. Why is that so important?
well, the breathing is, as you well know, but thanks for the question, Mark. You learn to breathe, it's called a tantien. It's about 3 inches below your belly button and about 3 inches in. That is where chi starts getting, is like churning in there. Everybody has chi, but Tai Chi teaches you how to develop it and control it. What does acupuncture do? You have meridians in your body. So if you have sore, like on your foot, if you have a headache, if you tape your foot down here, right?
I usually take ibuprofen if I get a headache.
Take ibuprofen and tape your bottom of your foot in a certain way. It links up to your brain and it stops your headache. So what you're doing is redirecting the chi.
Okay.
So just like acupressure or acupuncture, if you have aches, that's where they know how to put the.
Okay.
What they're doing is redirecting the chi. They're knowing the points where the chi is flowing for whatever ails you.
Another question: what is the difference between Tai and then the difference between Chi? What do they mean?
Well, Tai Chi, the whole name of the art is Tai Chi Chuan, Chuan, Tai Chi Chuan. That means supreme ultimate fist.
Okay. See, the only time Tai Chi I ever had was like I just got out of that little machine just a little bit ago.
And how is it?
It's pretty good, but I don't feel like I got any energy.
Are you reversing the aging process? Because you look a lot younger since you've been drinking that.
I wish I was.
Who needs my class? Just get a 6-ounce glass.
Everybody out there, if you can't afford to take Chuck's class, just go for $1. Or if you go where I am, they're free, and you get a Tai Chi, and you'll feel really good.
I'll take the class. I think I get more out of the class.
There you go,
Yeah, well,
Mark.
you know, the only benefit you can have to stop an attacker with this, if it's really hot.
You pour it right in his face. I don't teach that technique. So when did you get started, Mark? I don't think I really even asked you that question all these years.
Actually, it was way back in grade school. I'm going to say 4th grade. It was just a couple of years ago. But just went to the local park district and signed up. Studied a Japanese style called Shito-ryu. Not a lot of people have heard of it, but probably as close. A lot of people have heard of Shotokan.
Yeah.
And it's very similar to that. Obviously, all styles have their differences, especially at the higher levels. But a lot of the basic techniques are the same.
Well, it's Japanese.
Yes.
So like I got a black belt in Goju Shorei, which I can guarantee you, if you see the techniques from what that system was and that art was to yours, I can almost guarantee you they're very similar.
I'm sure this
Just because it's Japanese.
Right, especially at the lower levels, you learn a lot of the same things. It's when the masters created their own styles with their own specific techniques that things changed. So you learn those at the much higher levels.
Like I tell you with the Tai Chi, I tell my students you can go online, you could go on YouTube, you can hit Tai Chi, and a billion things come up. And ours is the Yang style Tai Chi. All that is a family that started it a gazillion years ago.
And they kind of went their own way with it.
And then
style.
right, and the Wu style, there's other styles of Tai Chi. The movements are the same, the theories are the same. But if I was showing him 10 moves, and then he wanted to find them on YouTube or something, but he hit not the Yang style, it's going to look different.
Right, okay.
So he may think, wow, I'm learning. I don't know if I'm learning this right.
You're right,
because he's learning from that. And even if he's learning even a Yang style, and something's a little different, don't forget my master is teaching me my way, and I'm teaching the way my master's taught me.
Right.
So it may be just still a little bit different. And like I tell him, it's not the art of perfection; it's the art of feeling inside of you when you're doing it.
Well,
if you feel it and you're doing the form not 100%. But you feel it 100%, then you're doing it right.
Let me ask this. How did you get started and how old were you?
It was 42 years ago, so I was 1. No. You know how I started it? I never told you how I started it.
No.
I had a brother that I lived with that was like living with the mafia.
Don't tell me he beat you.
He beat me. And every time my parents went out, he would beat me. So I lived in Chicago. I went to, did you ever hear of Six Corners?
No.
In Chicago. I went there, found a judo school, and just walked in and signed up as a very young guy. And I went home and told my parents that I signed up, but you have to come and fill out paperwork and pay.
Right.
And my dad thought, there's a lot of moxie in this kid if he's doing this. Well, I found out really fast that judo wasn't for me, even though I think I was pretty good at it. But the reason why it wasn't for me is because I'm claustrophobic. And when I get this big kind of heavy-set judo dude flipping me and laying on me and I got to get up, I panic.
Like a sumo wrestler?
They weren't that big, but when you're a little kid and this guy's flipping you, and he's laying on you, get up, and I couldn't get up. I just said, after about like a month of this, I just couldn't do it. So I went to another style, and that's where I started doing this.
It's interesting.
Which is kind of why I always say the best style is the style for you. If you don't enjoy it or you're just not physically good at it,
Right.
there's always other styles to go find that you can do.
Right.
So what you were just explaining a minute ago, with down here, that's where the chi energy
chi.
comes from. The
Yeah.
chi energy comes from.
Right.
Okay.
And then by doing Tai Chi, you learn how to, which I'll show you a little demonstration later, but you learn how to kind of control it.
Okay.
And you'll see people, you heard of Bruce Lee doing his 1-inch punch.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
In essence, that's what he's doing. He's staying in a certain stance, and the way he's controlling his chi and taking earth energy and coming out, he's controlling it with a little punch like this, which is what I'm going to do to him later.
Really?
Yes.
Wait.
Are you excited?
We didn't talk about
I know.
this
It's a violent
before.
show now.
Hold on.
It's changed. It may have to do with the election here.
Great.
But, so anyway, yeah, that's it. So you got your black belt. How did you find me?
Well, actually, I studied that art for about 15 years, a little bit on and off due to other sports and other things. When I went away to college, I had a chance to study on my own, continue to work on that art. And then, had a family, life took over, kind of fell out of the martial arts for a long period of time. And then one day, I just told myself I had to do something. I wanted to do something.
Because you were Air Force for 25 years?
30.
30 years.
Wow.
Air National Guard.
All right.
And I just decided I wanted to do something, get back into an art. But as you said, we get older, and physically, I just wasn't up for the pounding of the
Right,
hard
which is
style.
fine.
Which I still work on the forms and
Right.
that, but just wasn't going to take the pounding. And I had heard of Tai Chi, and actually the local park district in Elk Grove had it, and just took a chance one day and signed up.
And the rest is history.
The rest is at least 7 years of it is history.
Last 7 years of your history.
Exactly.
So,
Well, you know what?
That's
You're
it.
going to have to show some movements here in a little bit,
like what?
Well, like might be getting off your chair.
And doing what?
Whatever you think your little chubby body can do now.
My little chubby body. Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black, sir?
Perhaps.
Well, maybe we can show the difference between a hard and a soft style and
All
certain
right.
techniques.
Yeah, I would like to see the
And then all
difference
you got
myself.
to do is just kind of, I don't know, maybe say what you want to see, because none of this is planned, so.
Well, okay, I guess well, show me some soft style first. I'd like to see, because that's more of the slow movements you're saying to.
Okay, so if you stand there, let's stand here.
Let me ask one question.
No, stand right there.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, to me, it would seem better to start out as a soft style and then move into the hop.
Well, I'm going to show you what the movements are.
Okay.
In it, like, let's stand right here facing this way. Okay? So if we're doing, let's just start doing like upward, downward. So here's what you're doing. Now you're breathing. You're inhaling, you're controlling your breath, and you're exhaling. You're doing inward, outward.
You know what you remind me of?
What?
Back in the 80s, we used to watch them girls on those little circles about 6 in the morning doing workouts.
So now what you're doing is this. What Mark is doing is his legs are going up and down in coordination with his breath. So you're learning breath control,
Okay.
which is, like I said, there's the reversal of the breath control. Okay? There's movements that face me this way. I was talking about earlier that we do is step back a little bit and then bow, and we're going into the rolling arms. Just now this is like a Tai Chi sparring, okay? What we're doing here is I'm feeling his energy and his movements. I'm never losing contact with the skin at all. If he comes in with an attack on the head, I'm coming in here, moving him this way, and we're feeling his energy. So if he comes in with like a strike somewhere, I can do this and just get him down, and that's his energy. And I'm not expelling any energy whatsoever. All I'm doing is feeling his energy coming in, whatever he's doing, and I don't care what it is, and I don't care who's doing it. They're not gonna hit me.
Now, I
They're
have,
just not
I have
going
a question.
to. Yeah.
So, now you're both doing Tai Chi, but now what if you have somebody who's just coming in that doesn't? What if their arms aren't moving the same way?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, that's
because what it is it's the energy. So if we're doing this, and say you're doing this
Okay.
for years and you're just getting in that focus
Okay.
of doing this, he comes in. Now when I do this, I'm just getting out of the way. Notice how my foot is.
Yeah.
Right? What I'm doing is, because I've done this for years and years and years, I'm feeling his energy. I know from this stance right here, he can't hit me with anything. He's going to try to do something like this. He can't kick me with anything. So what he's going to do is he's going to have to rearrange his stance this way. And
get a
when he
punch at
does that, I can come in like
Right, I
this
see what you're saying,
and
yeah.
just
Take him
boom,
right back, yeah.
down. And then attack any way I want to attack him.
Right.
See, so by doing the slow movements, if you're doing the hard style, now you do your hard style.
Okay.
If I'm just here like this, now he's going to do his hard style. I'm a jerk in a bar.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, now there's different levels, obviously. So I'll show
Right.
you what a beginner, we're teaching them how to stand, how
Okay.
to punch, how to defend
How to
themselves.
keep their balance.
Correct.
Right.
So it's
so
gonna
I'm
be
the
very-
jerk in the bar,
Okay.
and all I'm going to do is throw a punch. Boom. So what he's doing is blocking hard up. Do it again. So I'm slow. Boom. Now it's opening up my whole rib cage for him to punch, right? Mm-hmm. Now, how would that be like neutralized in a soft style system? First of all, a soft style guy is not going to be fighting necessarily in a bar, and then the jerk in the bar is going to be me. He's the martial arts, so I'm the bar going, hey, you're looking at my girl. You're looking at my girl. Right, that's pretty much what they're going to do.
Right.
So what Tai Chi teaches you is control not only of the breath in your body, but it gives you control of what the body, when you're doing the rolling arms, I'm looking kind of where the mic is, right here, at all times. So when we're doing this, I can see any fluctuation of his shoulder moving. So if he's coming in,
Don't take this wrong, but it almost looks like you guys are good dancers.
we are. See, so what's going to happen now, if he tries to do anything, and I don't care what it is, I can come in like this. Now watch. See, what I'm doing here is I'm always controlling his whole body. This is here, this is here. Now, even though my hand is like this, because it was ready to do this, but I'm just trying to show you, he can't kick with anything. But I'm
Right.
controlling his whole body, so if he comes in with anything at all, boom.
Now, what if the gentleman you were having a skirmish with was also a Tai Chi expert, such as
Well,
yourself?
the odds of two Tai Chi guys
yeah,
doing
it's
it,
gonna be rare, I would think. But I was just curious myself,
I think then
Then it'd be
I
like a
think they
big
would know, and
star.
they'd go like this. All right, we're not doing this.
Let's have a drink.
Let's go have a shot of tequila.
And
Why are we doing this?
And obviously, hard style or soft style, what you see in the movies isn't what you're going to do in real
Right.
life. If he's challenging me, hate to say it in a bar, I don't go to those very often.
Oh, yes,
I'm
you
not going to go.
No.
And
Well,
let
yeah,
him-
of course
you know,
not.
I'm going to stand and I'm going to
Right.
figure out what's going on.
But
Exactly.
he's going to stand
Or he's got a good
in
balance.
a stance
Exactly.
anticipating the
That
jerk
something may happen.
attacking, right? So I do one of these in a bar, and he's standing there, and I do one. No, just stand there, and I do like this. Well, he knows there's a lot of
just hit him
room.
on purpose, yeah.
He's doing it on purpose. So his stance would be something like, just like, what are you doing?
Right.
Just like my stance as a Tai Chi guy or even a hard style martial art, doesn't matter,
Right.
would do the same thing. I'd be like, just kind of like standing, ready to just go wherever he's going to hit me. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm. Right,
saying? So the whole key with it is like understanding your opponent, and you have to, like when I go into bars, and I do go to bars once in a while.
And so what?
When I go to bars, and I go to bars with him in Galena,
This is true.
but when I don't go nuts in the bars. I'm not 20 years old anymore, but I still scope it out because I know there's a lot of jerks. And you might see 2 or 3 people having a few shots of tequila, and let's face it,
You never know
you
nowadays.
see a pretty girl somewhere, you're going to look at her, and I don't care who you are, it's just a natural thing to do. And you get the guy that sees you looking at the pretty
You get the
girl,
jealous guy.
and he's a jealous guy, and then he doesn't like the fact that maybe she looked back at you, and then he's going to do one. Well, you can pick those things out as a martial
Now,
artist.
on your Tai Chi, now in some of the arts I've done, a lot of times when we were in a stance, I've always kept to where myself, I've kept a lot of weight maybe on this one.
Yeah, you always
where
do.
I could keep a balance where if somebody
Always.
did go to kick a foot, I still got a balance where
Right.
nobody can knock me down yet, get me on the ground, stop me.
The third form in Tai Chi is called raised handstands,
Okay.
which is you're like this, okay? Now what you're doing is 70% of your weight is on your back
Yep,
leg.
okay, that's what I was-
This is just as a balance, as a way to pivot.
Yeah,
This
you can
is-
use that foot for...
This is here for like the hand here, to block here, to here, to accept. So he's a bad guy in a bar. Not that I would do this in a bar, because it's kind of projecting the fact that I know something. So he's the bad guy in a bar, and then I stand like this. If he comes in with a punch, I'm just, again, as simple as this. And the only reason I'm doing it, do it again. The only reason I'm doing it is because there's no weight on my front foot.
Right.
I see his energy, I wait for his energy to come in, I can do this, and again, my technique of this is very simple. Just break it and just wham, that way.
Now, in Tai Chi, do you have like some easy forms to in other words, for instance, I'm not doing it, but where you can, I'm not going to do it, but say something was going out of hand, so where you could grab real fast and go in like this, you know what I mean,
yeah.
which hurt, and just takes them down
Yeah.
to eliminate the situation to,
Well, not necessarily, but the thing,
get rid of a fight.
But here's the thing. In Tai Chi, like, let's just say he grabs, like I do this. He's got my arm, and he wants to like twist it. See, because you're going again with his movement and his yang energy against your yin energy. You have an oak tree and a willow tree, and it's a storm, 100-mile-an-hour winds. The willow tree is going to win. It's just the way it is. Water's the biggest thing in the world, in the universe, to break up stone. Look at Grand Canyon.
And a willow tree is soft, it bends.
And it bends. So I'm the willow tree, he's the oak tree. So he's holding here, and he tries to like do something with it. I don't care, whatever it is. See? It's just like this. I'm kind of going with him. And we're a little sweaty with the lights and stuff, but he wants to grab my arm and pull something. I'm just kind of going with it very naturally and coming in. See how I just come behind him? Because I know the weak spot. This is a chain link right here.
Right.
This is the weak spot in the chain link. So if he's pulling, that doesn't bother me at all that a guy grabs me
Right.
like that. Because he's pulling, I just know I'm just doing this. I don't have to like, now show the hard style what they're going to do. Because I know what you're going to do with this.
With a hard style?
Yeah.
You're
Doing a down block.
Well,
if you're doing the block.
I mean, I can strike,
Right.
but honestly, at the higher level,
always do
it's
the
the
same-
same
it's the
thing.
same
As
thing.
at the black belt level,
Right.
you're going to do the easiest
Well, you know what's
technique.
interesting, what you said about using the person's energy. A lot of times years ago, where we won't because I'm mic'd up here, but where say you're in a place, which normally a fight can start, the people start shoving you.
Right.
And they're trying to get there to where to push you back, so
Right.
that right away you're going to get scared and sit and pull away. Where I've used a few times where they start pushing me, and I pushed a little, so they pushed me harder, and then without them knowing, all of a sudden I just reached on them and I was
using their energy.
and I pulled and I did my own flip, and then,
Right.
and then I used my feet under their chest as
Yeah.
they're coming over me, and I threw them. I mean,
That's
a good
like
5
that's
or 10
Aikido
feet.
and that's Judo too.
See, and I developed that one on my own as a kid.
Maybe
I
you
learned
were
to do it.
channeling a samurai.
What was interesting because I thought when somebody's pushing on me, I was not that big. So how can I flip this guy? And then I learned on my own, and I used to do it in wrestling all the time. They'd always start pushing you, and then it'd freak them out because when they go sailing, a lot of people they get
No,
freaks
but
them
to
out.
see the difference between that is, as martial artists, you're sensing. I don't want anybody being that close to me to have their arms at this distance to push. I won't allow that. If they come in your face, I'm just going to be like, hey, step back, buddy.
Right.
But here's what I'm doing when I do this now. Is when I say step back, like he's coming back, I'm going like this. Step back, but I'm anticipating his movements.
That's something
whatever
like
he's
that.
going to do. Because he's being a jerk and he's trying to hurt me.
Right.
And I don't want anyone to touch me because I want to knock them out if they try to touch me. But I want to control this. So I might do one of these like, hey, step back, step back. Now, if he doesn't step back, see where my hand is right here? I'm just going to do one of these like, oh, God, I don't want to do this. Boom, thumb right there.
Oh yeah, it's
Done.
Yeah.
Done. Or I might just do one of these where I'm coming in and just boxing ears.
Oh,
Just
oh yeah, where you smack him fast.
just
oh yeah,
done.
You can actually
Done.
pop an eardrum.
I want to get, because he's a lot bigger than me.
Right.
I don't want him to hurt me.
Right,
You know, I'm in my 50s. I don't want anyone to hurt me.
dude. I'm pushing 60 this year.
But I don't
Can
want
cast
anybody,
it?
you know what I mean?
Right.
You
No,
got
I
to
know
know your
exactly what you
limitations,
mean.
but even you got to know your limitations even when you're in your 30s. So as far as like talking about the chi, remember I talking about
Right.
chi and the 1-inch punch and stuff? Let me show you. The only way I can do it is kind of showing.
This
Stand
was
there.
the fun part you talked about at the beginning of this.
Well, I just want to kind of show.
I'd like to say one thing. This is one thing I did learn years ago, and this is what you just said. You got to know your limitations.
Right.
You ever see the show Get Smart?
Yeah.
You ever see the one where Get Smart was fighting with a sword and he's losing? He's backing toward the window.
No.
And just before he jumps out of the window, he goes, "He who fights and runs away lives to fight another day." And
There you go.
He leaps out to safety.
So now what's going to happen is, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show that, and you can verify, because you're on mic, is that I'm going to be this far from his chest.
Okay.
Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate from the earth and from my hands here, what I'm doing is the chi's coming up through the tanti end, coming around, and I'm going to kind of control it, because one of the Tai Chi movements is press, right? So as I stand here like this, and just relax. So I'm sinking down, and then I just want to just kind of concentrate. And with just a little bit of a push,
Oh no, that's yeah.
I'm
Knocked
sending
back
him
hard, yeah.
right. And it's just a
Yeah, I
a
almost
little
broke my
bit.
ankle. I know. Excuse me. That's my wrist. See, I'm getting on up.
I almost broke my ankle on my hand. So what did that feel like?
It was an instant, and it felt like pressure. And honestly, if you would have done it for real as hard as you could, I would have went a lot
'Cause he came
further.
back- he
and
came
I don't
back
think
hard.
you would have stopped me.
Yeah. No, he
so.
came back hard.
One thing I didn't want to do, because that's a brick wall behind there.
Right.
But anyway, Mark, I told you a half hour would go by fast.
Yeah, sure did.
Thanks for coming.
Thank
Hey,
you
it
for
was very
having
nice
me.
meeting you.
It was nice meeting you
Yeah.
too.
And if you want to come with me and Mark and learn Tai Chi, look up at the pavilion, Elk Grove Village. Look us up. We'll be the instructors. We teach it strictly for health, but unless you want to learn a little martial arts, then I kind of throw that in on the side.
And if you want to join me for some Tai Chi out of a cup, hey, just give me a call.
Come to Comcast and Mount Prospect.
That's right, because it's free.
Join the class. You won't be disappointed. You have a lot of fun.
Thanks.
And you get in shape.